between
no, they don't.
this episode and the previous one.
This show just forgets to name everyone. Like, they did the same thing with fucking Azazel. Like, Azazel had been dead for half a season. They're like, oh, we should probably give him a name.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that guy.
It's fine. It's fine.
He's dead, no longer a character, but, like, we should name him.
Oh, yeah. What did demons call him?
Sam says that Ruby said that she could help Dean, and Dean calls Sam out for being naive, but Sam's like, I'm gonna turn things around and use her for information. I'm like, Sam, do you think you can do that? One of my favorite traits of Sam's is that he's, like, arrogant, like, he just is. Mm-hmm. And I like that we're just, like, fully, like, leaning into that for once. Sometimes they try and pretend he's not, and it just, like, if you just lean into it, it's just easier. Like, let's not pretend Sam Winchester's perfect.
No, perfect characters are boring.
But their argument is interrupted by their dad's phone ringing, and Sam answers it, and their dad's storage locker outside of Buffalo has been robbed, and John's alias for the unit is Edgar Case, an American clairvoyant. Some of his most famous clients included President Thomas Woodrow Wilson, Thomas Edison, and the composers Irving Berlin and George Gershwin.
I just want to know, like, what John's plan was. Because, like, here's the thing. It's clear that you can destroy the rabbits, so I don't understand why he stored it instead of just, like, destroying it. Like, surely it would have been safer just to destroy it.
John is not big on the follow-up, and he's like, I will store this till I figure out what to do with it, and then he maybe figures out what to do with it, but, like, maybe he doesn't.
The end result is just that he has a very, very dangerous junk drawer. Okay, so, like, my theory about the, like, rabbit's foot and, like, John, like, why he wouldn't have destroyed it, it does make me wonder, which, to Jamie's credit, I'd never thought about this until she mentioned how weird that was that he didn't destroy it, but I do wonder if maybe he was keeping it intentionally as, like, when I get to a point where I'm gonna go up against Azazel, like, I know that it's gonna be, this is gonna be it.
That's a good point also. Oh. Like, that's a good idea.
Do I, like, yeah, like, and because he's basically been on a suicide mission this whole time.
That's giving
so, like, if he
credit,
loses the foot afterwards, he doesn't really care. Because if he's, as long as he's completed the goal of killing the demon, like, that's his.
Because who cares if he's there for his son? Like, he just cares about protecting his family. He doesn't care about the emotional damage. It's just about protecting his family.
Definitely all about the family. The very, very real family that John is very aware that he has.
So yeah, so I wonder if he was holding on to it to use it later.
That's a good point and then obviously, that I had not thought of.
Actually, that would make a lot of sense.
I also kind of wonder if, like, hoodoo is a very, like, cultural, like, practice, and it is very much not John's culture. He's very white. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so I wonder if maybe he just, like, doesn't have the connections that Bobby has to figure out what to do about it.
And he wouldn't have asked because...
But he did ask. Because Bobby's the one who created the fucking curse box.
Yeah. And he could have made the curse box beforehand, just, like, as a general curse box.
No, but they said they have to be tailored specifically to the curse object, don't they? And Bobby literally says in this episode that he made the curse box for it, because he knows exactly what it is.
Yeah, that's true.
Plot hole. I just thought you could just make a curse box.
One does not simply make a curse box.
They were just like, well, we didn't touch it, and everyone who touched it's already dead, so, like, it's not, like, no one is currently cursed, so, like, it's fine if we just put it in a box and shove it in a storage locker, and we don't need to think we don't need to go through the work to figure out a more permanent solution. Like, that's permanent enough. No one's gonna break into our storage locker in, like, 20 years. That would never happen.
Who would have the guts to do that? John keeps adding things to the shelves.
For me, though, it's not so much, like, the fact of someone potentially breaking in. It's, like, what happens if, like, the credit card is stolen or whatever, doesn't make the payments on the storage unit, and
that's
they, like,
what I wanted to
auction it off?
Literally about to say, with how, like, John's been dead a year at this point, basically. Mm-hmm. Like, a good 6 months to a year. Mm. And, like, how far in advance did he pay that? Like credit card?
Yeah. Or is it, like, attached to the account that was meant to be Sam and Dean's college funds?
I mean, at this point.
Oh, that hurts.
But there's another character, I want to say in, like, season, like, 13 or 14, who has a storage locker that, like, 4 years has gone by, and they have definitely not been around to pay it. And, like, I just wonder how far in advance. I'm like, how is this shit not being auctioned off?
Well, like, maybe, like, the owner of the storage place is, like, a fellow hunter or something?
Maybe.
But then why would they call Sam and Dean?
Yeah.
Well, they don't call Sam and Dean, they call John. So if they saw someone and broke it into, like, a hunter's storage unit.
Yeah.
I mean, Bobby knows about it. Maybe Bobby's paying it off. Maybe it's a weird company that lets you buy the storage unit and you don't have
maybe.
to.
That seems like
maybe.
Okay.
This is supernatural. Get off my back.
There doesn't make sense in this world.
Everything about Supernatural is bad business. Did you see how much money the CW lost?
That's true. That is true.
The cops don't know how to do their jobs. Maybe the storage unit people don't either.
The CW was into their second year of being not profitable, so.
Oof, we're keeping track now.
Kubrick has found a friend who is also skeptical of Gordon. I don't think they mentioned this guy's name until like almost the end of the episode. His name's Cree. Kubrick and Cree. He's really skeptical of Gordon, but like they have a RV full of Jesus art and nothing to do, so we're gonna track down Sam Winchester.
Did you see the stickers on the back of their
yes,
RV?
I literally took a very specific note when we get to that scene. Like I wrote down what all of them said.
Yeah, I took a photo.
Dean is really annoyed that their dad has yet another secret, and like maybe we're just scratching the tip of the iceberg there. Like, like this is nothing. But
this episode is just like peak Sam and Dean being dumb pieces. Like they're dumb as hell in this episode.
Yes,
like the entire way through, they are so dumb.
But they do it with a level of style.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, we're going to stumble upon some secrets of John's that are way worse than his secret toy room.
Yeah, John's storage locker is rigged up with booby traps. Somebody definitely got shot on their way in here, and it's also warded against demons. So like, this place is like, it's all like locked up. Like they broke into the storage locker, but like they had to work for it and like commitment.
They were not compensated fairly for their work. They only got a couple $100.
Absolutely not. Like one guy got shot with a shotgun.
But Bella's profit margin is incredible. What a fantastic business
Incredible.
woman.
She is an inspiration.
CW really should have consulted her.
I'm sure she could have helped.
Dean finds Sam's 1995 Division Championship soccer trophy, and I see you trying to make me sympathetic to John. A soccer trophy is not going to make up for used children as bait for a monster that one time.
I have a theory that Sam didn't actually win that trophy because Jamie and I would we don't think they could have been anywhere long enough to have actually feasibly been involved with a soccer team long enough to get a trophy. So I reckon Dean actually stole it. I think that, and for me, I feel like it makes more sense that John would keep Dean's first theft than it does that he would keep Sam's soccer trophy. You know what I mean?
Also, there's literally an entire plot point in Bugs dedicated to the fact that Sam was not allowed to play soccer.
There's a whole saga in John's journal about the soccer playing where Sam wants to play soccer and he does go to state. I think the journal maybe corroborates this specific year as well, because this would be when Sam's 12. John's been letting them stay alone for 2 or 3 days at a time since Sam was 4. By 12, I feel they can leave Sam places and he can get a somewhat stable education. Because again, Sam has to stay someplace long enough to get into Stanford on a full ride. He needs a modicum of stability, but also there's a whole entry where it's Sam's birthday and a Saturday, and John won't let him go to his scheduled soccer game because he's got to train on Saturdays. I'm it's literally his birthday. If there's one day out of the whole year where you can just let your son do what he wants.
I know Sam's life is really depressing and whatnot, but I still think it's really funny that his version of being rebellious is, I'm going to go to Stanford and play soccer and be a lawyer.
Okay, exactly what all parents want for their children.
I still think it would have made more sense if Sam did play soccer and he got a soccer scholarship to go to Stanford. That makes way more sense than Sam being a straight A student on his very broken education.
Yeah.
Well, I have another theory, though. What if he got into Stanford because Azazel was meddling?
That also would make sense. I think
that's the only explanation.
Sam ever getting into Stanford on his own, but we can't linger on the soccer trophy forever.
We can't. We have other things to
Why
discuss.
not? Just the 40-minute long podcast about the one fucking soccer trophy and how it doesn't make any fucking sense.
That would either be really good material or boring as hell.
The point is that it's not endearing that he kept the soccer trophy. It's not endearing to John as a father.
No matter what way you spin it,
it's just sad. Dean finds his first sawed-off shotgun, which he made when he was 12.
Somehow more concerning than the soccer trophy.
Which is the age that Sam was when he allegedly earned that soccer trophy. So they were the same ages. Those are the things that they're accomplishing at 12. You know,
good job, guys.
Like you do.
Just normal kid stuff.
John's locker also just has a stack of landmines and more guns, which Dean helpfully points out the thieves did not take, which is a red flag. That they were looking for something very specific because landmines.
and everyone just wants to steal guns and weaponry. Like, that's...
Yeah.
What I want to steal.
Made me realize something kind of profound about Sam and Dean, which is that they have everything in the trunk of the car. They do not have a storage locker, as far as we know, where they keep extra stuff. Like, every single thing that they own in the entire world can fit in their car. And, like, their car is never crowded. They never have stuff piled on the back seat. Like,
which is why it's really amazing that every week they seem to wear a different plaid shirt.
Yes. And they have, like, 8 million
And where
ties.
are they storing them?
They've never repeated ties.
They just throw them on the side of the road when they're done because they can't do laundry.
I did have a theory, though, that they have, like, a spare bedrooms at Bobby's, so they just, like, stop in, like, every time they drive past that way, they pop in, see Bobby, like, change
Switch
out
out
the clothes they've
their
got there.
It's time to get my fall wardrobe.
But they have no knowledge of this storage locker or any of the weapons that are in this, and this feels like such a power play to me by John. Like, not only does it very severely limit Sam and Dean's resources, they combines of, like, 1 bag each plus, like, some extra weapons, John can at any time produce some wild, obscure thing that is exactly what they need, seemingly like magic, like, because he has this whole storage locker that they don't know about full of cool shit.
Like the backpack Dora the Explorer.
It feeds very much into this, like, all-knowing, all-powerful, like, hunter persona that John was using to, like, keep them, like, under his thumb as kids.
I was just going to say, it also reminds me of in Dead Man's Blood, where Dean's like, oh, look, we've got an extra machete, and he's like, I've got this brand new fucking machete
exactly.
in, like, the
like,
back of his, like, brand new fucking car that's, like...
anything that they could need, that they must, like, think, like, oh, we don't have that. Like, John can just have, because he has this storage unit, and presumably probably other storage units that they don't know about. Like,
I've never questioned this, but, like, how much money does John fucking have?
None or a lot. Like, it depends how much he can, like, stand. Like,
Yeah.
So, here's a theory. What if he robbed things?
That's what the rabbit's foot was for.
That's how he got the rabbit's foot.
So John and, like, control is really interesting. I think that you can see him do it, like, exhibiting control over them, like, so much through the series. Mm-hmm. But, like, one thing that you, like, I was thinking about as you were talking, KJ, is, like, not only does, like, the storage unit, like, sort of add to that in the sense of, like, yeah, he's got all this secret stuff that, like, they don't know about, and, like, he can kind of procure whatever item at the drop of a hat. But it also it's seen in the way that not only did Sam and Dean not know about the storage unit, but, like, they don't know about Bella, they don't know about Creedy, they don't know about Kubrick, they only barely know about Gordon. Like,
they didn't know about Joe and Ellen until...
They didn't know about John and Ellen. Like, John has kept them under his thumb so much. Like, he can control everything because he doesn't allow them to seek out, like, external support or external information. Like, they didn't even know that vampires weren't extinct until...
No, it's not that they didn't know that they weren't extinct, it's that they didn't even know they fucking existed. Because John thought they were extinct, so why even tell them that they existed in the first place?
John Winchester is just, it's wild. It's like, he's just, and, like, Dean is really kind of upset about the, like, discovery of the storage unit because, like, he, like, threw his whole early life away, and, like, he lost Sam for, like, 4 years. Like, he lost out on 4 years of Sam's life because he stood by John, and, like, he seems to not have ever made any, like, real meaningful connections with anybody.
Hunting's already so isolating, and then John just isolated them even further from anybody who could have possibly, like, helped or been an ally or even just created a sense of community in any regard. And, like, you see how desperate Dean is for community in literally any episode where he has to go undercover as part of a team. Like Hollywood Babylon, where he becomes the PA.
Yeah, it's absolutely infuriating. I'm like...
Oh yeah, this probably doesn't need to be said, but, like, isolating people that you have control over is very textbook abuse.
Yeah.
I think most of John's behavior can come under, like, textbook abuse. Like, it's really not a stretch.
Sam sees the shelf with all the boxes with the binding magic curse boxes that are used to contain cursed objects, and one of them is very clearly missing. It has a good deep dust ring. It's clearly been sitting there for, like, a long ass time, and it is not there now.
Oh no.
Dean says maybe they didn't open it. Cut to 2 guys, and one of them's going, come on, man, let's open it. It's the easiest thing to do, but it's delightful every time.
Because Bella can really pick them. Good job, Bella. This is the only bad decision so far.
The 2 guys are Wayne and Grossman, and they're working for some unknown woman, and Grossman opens the box despite Wayne's protest. Wayne's already having a bad day because he's the guy that got shot with the shotgun. So, he's not having a good time.
He keeps talking about how he's dying, and I'm like, I don't think you are. I think you're fine.
I think you're fine. But they open the box, there's a rabbit's foot in there. Wayne's not happy that he got shot for this rabbit's foot. I'm like, you could have stolen some other stuff on the way. Like, you were already in the storage unit. unit. If you, like, I don't know, you're only getting paid a couple $100 for this one specific item. You could have taken some other stuff on the way out.
But no, you have a gross keychain.
Again, no one's thinking with their business minds except for Bella. Some guy named Foster comes over, and he seems to be like a neighbor or something, and he's like, I used to be an army medic in Vietnam, and he's like, I'll patch you up, no problem, bud. Oh, you're not gonna ask how this guy got shot? No questions?
Because that would be bad luck if he asked.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Sam and Jeep immediately track these two morons down. They parked in